in your studies and daily work, there are no shortcuts to achieving your goals. You have to put in your best effort every day and all the time. Remember that you have been given an opportunity that many do not get, and you have a responsibility to make it count for yourselves, those around you, and the future generations. It is the African way to see ourselves as a community. The advancement of one should benefit the whole. By seizing the opportunities before you today and being mindful about how that can also positively impact others, our continent will be able to keep pace with the rest of the world and confidently face the future. Once again, I want to congratulate USIU and wish them a very happy anniversary. Like the river, we are now 40 years away from that point at which we started. I wish you all the best, and we will give you whatever support we can so that you can continue to be of this tremendous service to our young people and, by extension, to our continent. I thank you very much for your kind attention, and I was told I should give room for questions to be asked, and I'm very happy to receive from you questions, comments, or whatever you like. Thank you so much.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, in light of the student-inspired Jasmine Revolution and its ongoing ripple effects in Egypt and other parts of North Africa, what do you think can be done to promote nonviolent youth participation in leadership? Thank you.
I think responsibility lies on all sides involved to and relating to whatever problem. There are times, I guess, there is really no need to use violence. And that is if ordinary means that are available have been applied or are respected in terms of addressing the daily challenges people talk about. If people are involved, if institutions are there to deal with these issues, if people express themselves and are heard, then in most cases, there is no need for violence. I've seen that in cases of violence, sometimes that has come about as a result of people sitting with the problems for so long and not addressing them. And depending on the degree to which these problems affect people, some of these people have taken that route in the direction of violence as the way of resolving problems. But it need not be like this all the time. In fact, it is also possible to avoid. This can be avoided. So the best way is for people to develop that culture of listening, of taking practical steps to address problems at hand that affect people that, and one can see some of the things that result into violence can be foreseen. So if the leaders in place, if other people generally work together, then they can easily prevent violence and be able to resolve the problems at hand at the same time. So it's not something that has to be invented. It's something that is there. The means are there. The possibilities are there. People have to simply call upon reason and based on that to resolve problems rather than using violence. Sometimes, in fact, through violence, you end up coming back to the point you could have come to anyway without it.
Your Excellency, my name is Mudoki Mumo. I'm with the USIU Gazette, and I wanted to ask you a question about gender equity. Gender equity is one of the challenges that we continue to face in terms of leadership in Africa, and that we might continue to face in the 21st century. What strategies do you think, in terms of education, African countries could adopt in order to encourage female representation in government at all levels?
I start by saying that gender equity is very important, or as important as other aspects of equity in the social life, in any social life. And starting from the point that gender equity and other issues are really an issue of rights. It's even a common sense, if you will, beyond just being a rights issue, in my view. And that's what we have based on in our country to resolve these problems. Why should there not be equity, gender equity, or any other equity for that matter? Because here are rights of people. This is the starting point. And why I said it is even a common sense, take an example. In our country, say women constitute close to 54% of our population. What sense does it make to shut out 54% of your population from social and economic activities that only serve the country well and serve everybody well? What sense does it make? This is the starting point. So I think over time, this has been the realization by many, and what we have tried to do, say in our case, whether that may make any contribution for others as well, is to start from this understanding, is to build institutions that recognize that there has to be gender equity, and it is for the benefit of all. It's not even a favor you would be doing to one part or the other. It's just an issue that makes sense and benefits the development of the country. So from that understanding, you build institutions, and then you create structures, and you bring in everybody. And as again I said, as a matter of right, people freely explore their possibilities, their talents, and energies, and develop them for, again, the development of the country. So we know where we are starting from, we know where we want to be. What remains is to identify what works in between.
Your Excellency, Honorable Paul Kagame, the President of the Republic of Rwanda. My name is Reynalda Mwanyuma from Kenyatta University, and I would like to question, in your opinion, what should be the role of students in the university administration and governance, and more so when it comes to policy making regarding education, because I believe students are the major stakeholders in the education sector, and they should be more involved in policy making, but I don't know what do you think is the role, the extent and boundaries?
Well, what I think is I agree with you. I agree with you that, and this is a free source of information, of ideas. I mean, what does it take, and why not do it? To consult, to ask, to simply get ideas from the student body that is there to tell you what they think. I don't see any problem. I don't understand why that source of ideas and other things we need to base on to aspire for quality higher education or other aspects of education, we wouldn't take advantage of that. So I agree with you. It's a question of formalities, how we can structure that, how we can. It's not creating structures or levels of conflict. It's simply tapping into the reservoir, the free resource in terms of what needs to be done that I would do if I were. So I would advise people concerned to simply take advantage of this desire for people to contribute and just allow them to contribute.
Okay. Your Excellency, my name is James from Strathmore University. It is said good leaders know the way, show the way, and ultimately go the way. And I'd like to commend you for what you've done regionally in terms of politics by setting the pace.
Makofi.
In essence, you're greatly appreciated. My concern, it is common knowledge that national politics is more or less campus politics, but on a magnified scale. So my question is, what role do universities have, not only of molding us as students to become those corporate leaders out there, or societal leaders? What contribution can universities make towards their students in terms of them becoming leaders who are change agents that will transform what real politics ought to be, that is based on servant leadership? Thank you.
Well, I think I kind of outlined that in what I earlier said. So universities, students, faculty, all these are people with great potential, ideas, talent, and what have you. So the issue is always organization and management of any process in order to be where you want to be. But as I said, students, or others, if you will, need to have the right mindset, the right attitude, the kind of self-belief that they can develop themselves, that they can confront the challenges head-on, individually, and better still, collectively. So in a sense, we have to create a community of students and others that are thinking about solving problems, not creating problems.